Hello, everybody. It's Sophia Mona Lisa of the Golden Ray Center and the Rosewheel Mystery School. And here I am again today, which I did not expect or anticipate. And I have been asked by Sophia to put out this journal, which I am calling the Imminent Awakening of the Christ Race. And I believe as you watch this journal that it will become very, very apparent to you as to why I was inspired to give this journal this name. Now, we are still in the Leo goddess Inanna underworld phase, and this journal really has to do with it's a I've got to find the right word. Hold on a second. Let me find the right word. What is it? Well, it's like taking the entire Inanna underworld journey and bringing it into focus. So that's a good way to describe it since I can't find the word I was reaching for. Now, of course, Sophia did ask me to put this together for you. And I love this new I am statement that Saint Germain recommends using. I am always loving obedience unto the light. I have been using I am the new heaven and the new earth. I am the presence of the new heaven and the new earth. That'll really kick things up a notch if you start using that I am statement. I am the presence of the new heaven and the new earth. And now I'm just going for broke, and I am going to be using I am always loving obedience unto the light. I hope you can feel that in your heart. Because this is such a special and unique video journal, I've never done anything like this before. I am feeling as though it's really imperative to invoke Violet Tara, because she told us even before we made that dive into the Inanna underworld to invoke her, to work with her, to use her violet fire practice to help purify us as we were going through the Inanna underworld journey. And I have been doing that, and it has been very powerful. And so, because this is kind of a synopsis, that's the word I was looking for, of what has transpired in our purification and in our expansion during this Inanna underworld journey. I am asking Violet Tara to step forth. I am one with Violet Tara. I am the presence of Violet Tara. And so I will now say this prayer that is provided by Peter Mount Shasta in his book, I Am Violet Tara. Beloved Goddess Tara, Mother of the violet flame of forgiveness, help us overcome the illusions of the world. Free us from ignorance and help us achieve enlightenment. Grant us the ability to forgive and feel compassion for others. Clear all negative energy and raise our consciousness. I pray to you, come to me now, Violet Tara, Mother of the Violet Fire. So let me show you where we are, and you'll be familiar with this screen if you've been watching my video journals from the Galactic New Earth project, where we've been doing the DNA strand activations of the quantum Sophia code within us. So these are the two big events in the sky that activated on June 4th, our 22nd strand of DNA, and coming up soon on July 10th, the 23rd strand of DNA. And I'm going to show you a slide which gives you other cosmic events during this underworld period. It includes these other cosmic events, but those cosmic events were not DNA strand activations. So I just want you to see it because it's all included in the synopsis, and you'll be hearing me refer to all of that. Now, while we're on this slide, as I said, we're still in the Inanna underworld journey, and we will not be moving into the next phase of the Venus synodic cycle, which is known as the evening star or the ascent phase, until August 5th, when that first gate activation will take place at the root chakra. And we will be engaging the mother aspect of Sophia and the spiritual gift of sovereignty consciousness. We will be activating the 24th strand of DNA of the Sophia code. Now, let me kind of give you an overview of how I ended up doing this journal for you today. And it goes back to this 23rd strand of DNA activation that's going to come up on July 10th. If you are not yet aware, I offer anyone who is following along with these DNA activations through the Galactic New Earth Project readings on their personal strand of DNA in terms of what is the spiritual, the unique spiritual gift that specific strand of DNA is bringing online for them. Now, I invite you to contact me if you're interested in having these Sophia code strand of DNA activation readings. Right now, members of the Galactic New Earth Project are the ones that I've been doing these DNA activation readings for. So one of our tribe members, her name is Helen. She's here in Florida, as am I. Another tribe member that's here in Florida is Gina. So 3 of us are here in Florida. But anyhow, Helen had her DNA, her 23rd strand of DNA activation reading done quite recently. And it blew us both away. And it was so powerful. I'm thinking, how in the world am I ever going to repeat all of that again? Because it was, I mean, it was amazing what was coming through around this 23rd strand of DNA that's coming online. Well, you know, July 10th is the linear date, but we know that everything's happening in the eternal now. So I don't know if you're aware, but back in January of this year, the I Am Discourses, which is volume 3 of the Saint Germain series, in addition to the volume 1 and volume 2, I mean, they just showed up in front of me right about the time of that January 20th Pluto Sun conjunction that began at 29 degrees of Capricorn, and then together they crossed over the threshold into Aquarius to 0 degrees of Aquarius. Well, I started reading the I Am discourses, and I think there's 33. Let me just confirm real quickly. I've got the book right here with me. Hold on a second. Probably should have checked this out first. Yes, I am correct. There are 33 discourses. So if you're not familiar with the Galactic, New Earth Project, we were activating the 3rd through 12th strands of DNA during the Capricorn Sovereignty Goddess journey, which was begun in January 2022 when Sophia asked me to do the Galactic New Earth Project. It was in October of 2022 at the resurrection seed point of the Inanna underworld, when she said, okay, we're going to be activating the 3rd through 12th strands through the rest of this Capricorn goddess journey, which we did do. Well, we completed that, and then August, when it came time for the Capricorn sovereignty goddess to be morphed, transmuted into the Leo divine royalty goddess, she said, excuse me, good work, and we're not done yet. And that's when she informed us that we would be activating in the quantum field the Sophia code strands of DNA, the 13th through the 33rd strands of DNA. Now, this is relevant because 33 strands of DNA, 33 is the Christ number, 33 discourses in the I Am discourses that Saint Germain gave Guy Ballard, also known as Godfrey. Oh, I can't remember his whole name. Anyhow, Godfrey Ray King, I believe, doing that off the top of my head. So what I started doing is when this material showed up in January, I quickly got caught up, and then I made a choice to read for each strand of DNA where we were the corresponding discourse. Okay, so fast forward, Helen had her 23rd strand of DNA activation done, as I said, recently. And so I, after doing that for her, read the 23rd discourse. Oh my goddess, it flippin' blew me away, because there were things that I was saying to Helen in that DNA activation reading, which, you know, I get this stuff, they give it to me, that was being said by Yeshua in that 23rd strand of DNA, completely dovetailed alignment. Okay, so this is the first piece of that discourse 23 that was like, wow, I can't believe this. Now, this ties in to, as I said, something specific that I shared with Helen, which again brings us back to why I'm doing this journal. So I contacted Helen. I'm like, are you okay with me sharing, you know, what we discussed about this DNA activation? We won't do the private stuff, but, you know, the stuff that came through around it. And so bless her heart, she did give me permission to, you know, take out the excerpts of her personal 23rd strand DNA activation reading to share with you here regarding that DNA activation that's happening on July 10th. And this excerpt from the 23rd discourse practically mirrors a piece that I said to her around what was going on in the sky. And you will hopefully, having heard this, you will recognize it when you hear me saying it. Now, keep in mind, they gave me that first, and then later I came back to read this 23rd discourse and was blown away when I saw it in print before my eyes. So Yeshua says, I tell you sincerely from my own experience that we must acknowledge the one presence, intelligence, and power, then claim it as our own in our thought and activity. It is the only way this mighty perfection can be brought into the outer appearance and fullness of your use. This is the piece that ties directly to what I said to Helen. Because that perfection has not yet appeared, seemingly should not deter you from applying and claiming perfection as your own. So when you hear me talk about the Capricorn energies and in mundane astrology relates to bones, and then I give her the analogy that they gave me, that's your cue to pay attention so that you will know that it ties back to this. Now, at the end, I will show this slide again, just so that you can reference it again. Now, the other thing is this. And again, of course, all of this, like I said, has happened in the Inanna underworld. So this is kind of like a synopsis, the big picture view of what's been going on. I was inspired to put together this video journal on the fire element and its frequency upgrade. And this again was a very unique journal because Winsong and Gina, who are members of the Galactic New Earth Project, participated in this with me. And I will put the link in the description below. So there's another excerpt in this discourse 23 that completely ties in to why I was inspired to do this frequency upgrade on the fire element recently. So Yeshua says, as you continue to accept and use these laws in your activity, you will find that you are attaining dominion. Oops, this is a typo here. Not only over the one element, but all four elements: earth, water, air, and fire. And of course, you've heard me talk about each of the astrological signs and the element that they are associated with. Yeshua continues by saying, when you have become conscious of the flame of your divinity, I have been talking about this for as long as I can remember, your inner flame, your divine spark, that what Saint Germain calls your holy fire, what Sophia asked me to start referring to as a sun, S-U-N, the eternal Son of Sophia-Christ. When you have become conscious of the flame of your divinity, you are acting from the highest of the four elements, which is fire and the true activity of spirit. You could have knocked me over with a feather when I read that, knowing that I had been inspired to do that fire element upgrading frequencies journal. Yeshua continues with, as the conscious activity is to the unconscious, so is the conscious use of the flame to the recognition of the light. Sophia just had me put out a journal yesterday on the daily messages of Sophia, where she was asking us to engage in this daily practice of tapping in to that flame of our divinity, to our Christ heart, to receive messages from our inner Sophia Christ. That's conscious use of the flame. Amazing. The natural element of your soul is the flame, accounting for the ancient fire and sun worship. When one becomes conscious that he has, is, can use, and direct this consuming flame, he has entered into mighty power. Now, some of you may recall that when that Capricorn goddess was being transformed into the Leo goddess, we had a retreat here, and the very first thing that we did on the day of that transformation, it's called a metamorphic seed point. Again, Venus and Sun coming together in the sky. We did a fire ceremony. I have worked a lot with fire ceremonies for various situations. And one of the Sanskrit words for a fire ceremony is a yagya or a havan. And so a yagya is an ancient and sacred ritual performed to honor deities, seek divine blessings, and foster spiritual growth. Yagyas, sacred fire rituals, have been done by humanity forever, for as long as we've been on this planet. And of course, that goes back here to what Yeshua said about the fire being the natural element of our soul, that flame of our divinity, and which is why humanity has been doing fire and sun worship always on this planet. Okay, now this is the next really super groovy thing. Recently, recently meaning yesterday morning, today is Monday, July 1st. So yesterday, June 30th, Saima gave a global address over Zoom, and I participated in it. Well, as I was listening to her, all of a sudden, Sophia told me, as a part of working consciously, right? What did Yeshua say? Conscious use brings you into recognition of the light. She showed me how you can have a spiritual practice of an inner yagya when you are connecting with your eternal sun, your divine flame, your holy fire in your Christ heart. So that was super, super powerful that she came through and explained to me that, yes, you can participate in physical yagyas, and I have participated personally in yagyas and havans in the past. And because of how we have so elevated our awareness and our frequencies, we can engage in this spiritual practice of the inner yagya. So that was super huge. This discourse that Saima gave yesterday was on ascension consciousness and the new era of consciousness over matter. Again, I was blown away as I listened to her speaking, because everything that she's talking about in this address is exactly the work that we as the Galactic New Earth Tribe are doing through the Galactic New Earth Project with the allies of Sophia-Christ, the ascended masters of the Council of Light, and the various embodiments of the Divine Mother. So I will put a link to this below in the description box too, because it's about an hour and a half long, but it will blow your mind. Okay, now this is the slide that I promised you about what's going on in this Inanna underworld. So here you see on April 27th, Venus descended into the underworld, right? That kicks off this Inanna underworld journey. These are the 4 events: the May 23rd full moon in Sagittarius, the June 4th resurrection seed point, and specifically it as the 22nd strand of DNA, the June 21st summer solstice and full moon in Capricorn, and as I said, coming up in 9 days, the July 10th Venus rising as evening star and the 23rd strand of DNA. This was the reading that I was doing for Helen in terms of that strand of DNA and activation for her personally. But I always talk about the aspects in the sky, and you'll hear me making references back to the 22nd strand of DNA. You'll hear me making references back to this full moon in Sagittarius. You'll hear me making references to the resurrection seed point. So I wanted you to have this as a kind of framework for what you're going to hear in my discussion with Helen about what on the global level, right, for humanity is happening with that 23rd strand of DNA activation. And then, as I said, I just pulled those pieces out so that her private reading about her unique spiritual gifts that are being turned on with that activation are still private. Okay. So at this point, I am going to go ahead and bring in that recording of Helen's 23rd strand of DNA activation reading. And I thank her from the bottom of my heart for being so willing to share that with all of you, because I think it's important for all of you to really know what has been happening. You know, as I do these individual journals, sometimes you can kind of drop the storyline, so to speak, but all of this ties together, which is why I believe Sophia wanted me to do this synopsis in terms of what has transpired with humanity's transformation that is leading to that imminent awakening of the Christ race, which is us. So without further ado, here you go. Thank you. Okay, so if you'll recall from the resurrection seed point reading that we did on the 22nd strand DNA, my dragon cards had disappeared.
Correct.
And so I had Maureen pull a dragon card for the Yod in the chart for the resurrection seed point. I'm going to send you that slide. The dragon that came forward is, let me share my screen so that you can see it, is this dragon, Archangel Gabriel's dragon. And this is, yes, I mean, you know, knowing that this dragon has his tail grounded at the apex of the yod in Scorpio, and this dragon is all about helping us to, you know, cleanse and purify our fields. Well, you know, that's what Scorpio does. And then what it does is it helps us to walk the diamond ascension path. And if you'll recall, that Lyran being came into me, said that at the full moon in Sagittarius last month, which I think was May 23rd, that this quantum timeline had shown up and that not everybody could get on it, but that we were able to like bounce from the frequencies of the full moon in Sagittarius and all the other 6 aspects happening that day, kind of like a trampoline, bounce onto that high frequency quantum timeline. I am convinced when this card came forward that that timeline that she was telling us about is what they're referring to here as the diamond ascension path. So the other thing that I mentioned to you is how Sedna is helping us with these new high frequency tools to be able to operate on that diamond ascension path or quantum timeline. And I mentioned that the light language that is represented in the base points of the yod, that Lyran being told me they speak on that timeline, was one of those tools. Well, here it turns out that Archangel Gabriel has this cosmic diamond, and this cosmic diamond is a life-transforming ascension tool. So this also ties into what I was saying about Sedna, getting us this high-frequency quantum tool bag, so to speak. So this was huge. Now, fast forward to the event that's going to happen on July 10th when Venus rises as evening star. Helen, that chart also has a yod. And I had Maureen pull another card. I've ordered a new deck. It'll be here Saturday. But in the meantime, I had Maureen pull a card for that. You're not going to believe it. It's the Emerald Dragons, and they're the dragons that work with Archangel Raphael. So
well, get a load of this.
Huh?
Get a load of this.
Okay.
Yesterday or the day before, who knows, I'm losing track of time. I woke up in the morning and I was like, oh God, it's another weird day. What is going on? What is going on? And I said, what, you know, and I thought to myself, why don't you pick a dragon card? You're being very protected around here, but go ahead and pick a dragon card and ask that dragon card be to fly around your property to protect your property. Guess what card I picked?
Was it the Emerald Dragon? Oh my gosh, Helen. Oh, that's incredible.
Yep.
Well, and so now the last video that I did of the I Am discourses,
right,
was the discourse that was given by Ascended Master Hilarion. He works on the Emerald Ray.
Yes.
It was called the Pearl of Great Price. I don't know if you saw that one. So can you believe this? 2 activations back to back, both of them in the Inanna underworld. Both of them have yods. Both of them have dragons that are associated with archangels.
Yeah.
And Maureen told me that she received that the archangels are going to be working with us as we go through the ascent journey, which makes sense in terms of why they're showing up with us now through the underworld. If they're going to be working with us, here is the yod. Here's the star, Canopus. Canopus is the star that is informing Venus rising as evening star. How do we know that Venus is rising as evening star? Because the sun and Venus are 10 degrees apart. Sun's at 19 degrees, 19 minutes. The Venus is at 29 degrees, 19 minutes. This is the mastery point of Cancer, 10 degrees there. And then, of course, Canopus is informing with the sun, and then it's at 15, and it's closely aspected Epona in Cancer, bringing in that horse wisdom at almost 13. But look at this note that I've got here. As a part of, this is the TP. This has got a TP. It's not a sacred masculine TP like you had last with the 22nd strand DNA and like what you're going to have with this 23rd strand DNA. It's an earth water TP. It's a sacred feminine TP.
Well,
but the trine from Cancer in water to Pisces in water, look at this. The sun is at 19 degrees, 19. Saturnia is at 19 degrees, 19. It's an exact trine between the sun and Saturnia. Then Venus is at 29, 19. Neptune retrograde is at 29. It's at 29.55. So, you know, you're talking about what? A half a degree. But isn't it fascinating that through this trine, both of these luminary bodies are making singular trines to each one of the luminary bodies that are involved with this Venus rising as evening star. I mean, this is just uncanny. I've never seen anything like this before.
wow.
Yeah. So let me take a step back because I've really kind of jumped into the deep end here. And let's look at the sacred feminine TP first. And isn't it fascinating that the Venus resurrection, Venus rising as evening star is a base point for both the TP and the yod. So that means that these aspects are absolutely intricately woven together. So let's look at the TP. First of all, we know that it is the presence for the sacred feminine. It is a sacred container in which the sacred feminine is creating and manifesting this high frequency, leading edge, reality. And that what it is creating is going to be nurturing, safe, grounding, and successful. Remember what one of the keywords of the star Wriggle was?
Yeah.
Success. It bestows success. So at the base, we've got the evening star with its star Canopus and Epona, and across the sky, here's that Pluto and Osiris again. Now, what's fascinating is at the 22nd strand of DNA, Osiris was still in Aquarius at 5 degrees. Pluto was still around 1 degree. But since then, now Osiris is at the mastery point, 29.52. And actually, you'll see here that there is a sextile between it and Capricorn and Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So this is a huge influence on what the sacred masculine, the sacred feminine is creating in terms of this new reality. First of all, we know with Pluto in Aquarius that it's going to be empowering us at this whole new quantum timeline, this diamond ascension path that we have now landed on. And now we've got the Christ consciousness, right? Cosmic Christ. Notice they're both retrograde. Notice that Saturnia and Neptune are both retrograde. This is a lot of inner work. Over here with the Yod, Yeshua is retrograde. This is so much inner work going on. And notice that Yeshua and the galactic center, the apex of the Yod, are in a semi-sextile to this other base point. So this is showing how even more so, I mean, there's 3 links between the Yod and the TP. This is a tightly woven tapestry where, I mean, if you can imagine a tapestry that is woven with like beautiful geometric designs, and they're so beautiful, they're so unique that they can like stand alone. You can see them on their own individually if you focus in on them, but if you pull back, you can see how it with the others makes a beautiful this beautiful tapestry. It's the same thing here. These are tightly woven geometric hold on. It's like the geometry of each of these aspects is its own light glyph. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we've got the cosmic Christ down here at this mastery point of Capricorn, which is telling us that because of what we went through at the resurrection point, we have now been able to step, once we, bounced onto that diamond ascension path, we are now sovereign Christed beings. You may not see it in the 3D reality, but it's there. It's like, okay. This is, oh my goodness, amazing analogy that they gave me. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Capricorn in the mundane rules your bones. And what they just told me, what this is like if you've broken a bone and you've got it in a cast, the bone is healing, you take the cast off, right? That's the resurrection. And you can't see that the bone has been healed, but it is healed. That's what they're saying. You're not going to be able to see in this reality that we are sovereign Christed beings, but we are. We're on that ascension, that that diamond ascension path that Archangel Gabriel's dragons helped us when we made that bounce onto it. Isn't that flipping phenomenal?
I'm just getting the shivers all over.
I know. And because he's got this sextile to Neptune retrograde in Pisces, Neptune, again, the mastery point. Neptune retrograde is that, it's that divine light that comes from your divine self and anchors in your Christ heart. And so we have mastered our ability to embody. This is an earth element, but the high frequency earth element, we have been able to master embodying. And Saturnia is all about manifestation, spiritual mastery, our Christ self within us. This is just flipping phenomenal. And so the reality that she is birthing, because remember, I said you can't see it yet, doesn't mean it's not there. That's the leading edge manifestation that the sacred feminine is creating, birthing through this sacred container of this teepee. It's in there. It just hasn't come out of there yet, but it will. This goes back to that first eclipse that's going to happen in September, which is, you know, about 2.5, less than 3 months from now, where we've got the new eclipse season starting at 29 degrees of Pisces. It's going to be conjunct Neptune also here. So this ties directly into that eclipse that's happening. The first eclipse on the Virgo Pisces axis. It's happening here at 29 degrees of Pisces. And this is where both Maureen and I received the information that there is going to be like a quick, sudden, almost instantaneous shift in terms of the awakening of humanity, to such an extent that the awakening is going to be like, ooh, did that really happen, or was that a bad dream, kind of a thing. And then we will see that we have mastered embodying our Christ self. This is incredible. And of course, who's helping us? Sedna, because she's helping give us all the tools and resources we need to be able to thrive at that new frequency. Who's here? Uranus. What does Uranus do? Boom, like a bolt of lightning, liberates you. And it's happening he's in Taurus. So this goes back, especially with, of course, this trine between the earth elements here, Taurus and Capricorn, goes back to what I said, that we will have mastered embodying, because that's what Taurus is all about, embodying our Christ selves. And now with this yod, that is so, I mean, incredibly linked to this TP. I mean, notice, as I might have said before, that Yeshua retrograde, your Christ, inner Christ consciousness, the galactic center, being at a semi-sextile with the cosmic Christ and Pluto. So that's like that hand in the glove. What'll happen is now the Christ within us, our inner Christ consciousness, can get about the work, right? What is the scripture? I am about the work of my Father's. What is that scripture? Do you know which one I'm talking about?
No, not
That Yeshua
positive.
said. Let me see if I can find it. Aha. Luke 2, verse 49. And he, meaning Yeshua, said to them, why did you seek me? That's Sagittarius, seeking the Christ within. Did you not know that I must be about my Father's business?
I was about to say that, but I wasn't.
Yes, yes,
I wasn't sure if that was the correct one.
yes. I mean, is that incredible or what?
Yeah.
And so that's what we will be about, 10th house, the Father's business. That which we have been seeking. we are now doing that spiritual work. This is a phenomenal activation.
Yep.
I'm
Definitely.
just blown away
Well,
by it. So this is what makes it even better, because remember what I said, we're still, even though Venus is rising as evening star, we're still in the Inanna underworld. The ascent phase does not get initiated until that first gate activation in August. And so in terms of the alchemical process that we've been going through in the Inanna underworld, by the time we get to this event, Venus rising as evening star, July 10th, all of the chakras will be at that mysterious 8th step of the Alpha and Omega. I mean, this totally depicts, talk about a pictogram. This is a perfect pictogram for what's going on with these light glyphs of the yod and the teepee being tightly interwoven together.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that flipping phenomenal? Do you have any questions about anything in here? Because I know I kind of like rambled and went all over the place, but I had to go where I was being led. But is there
No,
anything?
you've done great. It's terrific. It's good. It's all the shoe fits.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Cinderella's prince has been able to put the glass slipper on her foot.
Yep.
So the next piece is, this is the star, Canopus. Now, Canopus is in this ancient
Sure.
constellation of the ship. It's the ship of the Argonauts, right? Jason and the Argonauts went to find the golden fleece. But this star has incredible star power. And so it is a powerful radiator of the light of generosity, which encourages the interchange of loving acceptance and service between beings. That's the Christ consciousness, isn't it?
Yep.
Loving acceptance and being of service. That's Christ consciousness. This star's frequencies can be used by individuals seeking to create communities based on service. And this star participates in the sharing of information, technologies, and awareness between civilizations. Now, I had to kind of make a very brief excerpt of what's in the book, Starlight Elixirs. You got this book, didn't you?
Yep.
I encourage you to go back and read it, but there's one thing in specifically that I want to speak to that I didn't have time, space to write. This star can connect beings to past and present technologies from this galaxy for various forms of healing, space travel, interdimensional shift, and the appropriate creation or destruction of matter. This is one powerhouse star, and Canopus is the brightest star in this constellation. Hold on a second here. I'm going to read something else to you from this book. the lost zodiac. It is, oh, it's the main star in the great ship. And the name of the ship is Argo, which sails along the Milky Way. Let's see. It has a blue diamond brightness, and it is said to confer piety, immunity from disease, and the power to change evil to good. Isn't that incredible?
Yes.
So that is the star, of course, that is down here at the base point with Epona's horse wisdom and Cancer, which we're going to look at in a minute, that is working together here with the sacred masculine, Uranus, and Sedna to thrust those energies up here for us to, you know, what did they say? Seek and you shall find. Seek and you shall find. We have been seeking, we have found, and now we are about the Father's business. Can you believe that? Are you speechless or did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
So let's look at Epona's medicine in terms of this sacred feminine TP and the yod. Oh, here's the dragon. Sorry,
Yeah.
getting ahead of myself. Here is the dragon that has its tail grounded at the yod of that, at the apex of that yod in Sagittarius, with Yeshua, our inner Christ, and the galactic center. Look at this, brings in healing and cosmic abundance. The ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter. He is known not only as the cosmic guru, but he is known to leave a great boon, right? He amplifies everything. So abundance, he leaves a great boon when he has engaged with you. So this healing and cosmic abundance in Sagittarius is that boon that this emerald dragon is bringing. Good fortune is coming. Let your thoughts support your divine perfection. That is our Christ self, and align with your fifth dimensional blueprint. So this is incredible that, you know, like I said, we had Archangel Gabriel's dragons at the 22nd strand of DNA activation, and now we have Archangel Raphael's dragons here at the 23rd strand, that this emerald light from the emerald ray, the fifth ray, which is also, not only did I mention that Hilarion is the master of, or the Chohan of, but is the ray of healing. So it's all coming full circle there. So what happens when you become your Christed self? The veils of illusion are pulled back. And that's what these emerald dragons are doing for us. They are pulling back the veils. Remember what I said? The sacred feminine has birthed this reality where we are now embodying our sovereign Christ self, but we can't see it yet. That's because of these veils of illusion. By that eclipse in September, that first eclipse on the Virgo Pisces axis, the Sophia Christ path at the mastery point of Pisces, 29 degrees, those veils of illusion will have been pulled back.
Whoa.
And so really, you know, it says here, relax at a deep core level. This is what we have to do for the next 3 months. I don't care
That's what I
what you
keep
see or
telling
hear out there. We have to really dive deep within ourselves, which goes back to the fact that you've got Yeshua, the cosmic Christ, Pluto, Saturnia, and Neptune all retrograde, pulling our attention inward. We have to go deep within ourselves and relax, like we're just sitting on the bottom of the ocean, just waiting to be lifted to the surface again by the Divine Mother. Sedna. Isn't that incredible?
Yep.
I mean, I can't even find words to put around this. I mean, this clearly and demonstratively shows us that all this work that we've been doing through the Galactic New Earth Project, through the whole Capricorn goddess, sovereignty goddess journey, and through this Leo divine royalty journey, has created a huge transformation for each one of us personally. Being unbelievable. Oh, I forgot to talk to you about Epona, horse wisdom in Cancer, keeper of the mysteries, right? She's in the cave. That's where we've been. Being in the Inanna underworld is going into that cave to have this huge initiation to reclaim our power. And that's what we have done. So, beloveds, I hope that you enjoyed that discussion that I had with Helen around what was happening in the sky, or what will be happening in the sky on July 10th. As I always remind you, you know, in the nonlinear space, the eternal now, it's all going on right now. We can tap into it right now. And if it inspires you to book your own 23rd strand DNA activation, to discover what spiritual gifts are coming online for you, feel free to email me. My email address is here at the bottom of the screen. Just remember that Sophia is spelt with an F. Sophia Mona Lisa 79 at Gmail. The other thing is, if you at all know that you came to Earth with a commitment to your own enlightenment, your own ascension, your own self-mastery, I extend a heartfelt invitation to you to consider joining Sophia's mentorship programs to support you in your own expansion. And you can get more information on those mentorship programs. There's 2 of them. There's the Christ Heart Mentorship Program, and there's the Sophia-Christ Mentorship Program. If you go to goldenraycenter.com/mystery-school/ tells you all about how the mystery school got started, how it evolved, and at the very bottom of the page, there's a blurb on the Sophia's mentorship programs and links to each one of those programs so that you can see what they're all about. So I would like to extend this heartfelt prayer to you. May the peace of the cosmic Christ enfold you and carry you forth on wings of light until you have reached eternal perfection. And I just want to thank you for sticking with me through all of this. Please give this video journal a thumbs up so it can get out to more and more of humanity. And if you haven't subscribed yet to my YouTube channel, please do subscribe. This is the link to my YouTube channel at the Roseville Mystery School. Please ring the bell so you'll be notified of future content as it comes out. I've got all kinds of things going on. And I have, I think, a dozen or more playlists on my YouTube channel. So you might want to peek through those and see what you've missed. And mostly, if you are at all resonating with my work and appreciating and valuing my work, if you'd like to buy me a coffee, this is the link to where you can go and do that. And I will put that link in the description box below. So again, thank you. Until the next time, sending you all my love, heart to heart. Take care. Bye-bye.